What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. If you've been following the channel for some time now, you know that we've put this truck through a lot over the last year. This is episode 99. That's 100, almost 100 episodes of abuse. We've actually already shot next week's episode 100, which is a good one. You're gonna want to check that out. But we've taken this truck through everything, and it has been super reliable. But we've pretty much trashed the suspension on this thing at this point. It is literally falling apart. We're gonna be completely rebuilding the suspension, and with the help of our friends at Epic Adventure Outfitters and our friends at Teraflex, we're gonna be rebuilding this truck from the ground up. First thing we gotta do is clean it because it's covered in mud.
Brought to you by Epic Adventure Outfitters. Also by White Rock Dodge. And in part by
Look who it is!
I'm here to apply for the boy band.
Did you bring Timbits?
I sure did.
Oh, you're in.
I'm in.
Oh, that's very Canadian of you.
Right? How's it going, boys?
Just us.
Well, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Oh, is this for us?
It is, yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciated that. Look at that. Oh, it's so nice. How's the truck doing?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of that trail going into that lake?
It was fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Right?
Yeah, that one part with the rock and then the cliff and then you got to go around the rock.
Yeah, a little sharp rock there.
Yeah.
It's fun, eh?
Yeah. I was like, holy. I'm not used to that stuff.
All right, so we're over at Epic. We're gonna be putting in a brand new suspension on the trail record today. We have the Falcon 3.5 remote adjustable electronic shocks. These are gonna be awesome. 4.5 inch springs, the same as what we've got in there now, except the ones we have are kind of shot. We've got the IR control arms. These are non-greasable, so we don't have to worry about them greasing them all the time. Drop brackets. This is so heavy, I can do my workouts. Adjustable steering stabilizer. And this is the aDAPT controller for the shocks. New sway bar links, because the ones that we have, just a bolt goes through, and these ones have, it's kind of built in like that, so they're a lot better. All right, so we're gonna start pulling everything out of the truck, disconnecting all the bolts, pulling out all the old control arms that are broken, all the old shocks. The shocks are still good, but we're putting in better ones. This thing's gonna be crazy. This is the old control arms and drop brackets here. As you can see, they're quite rusty and the joints are actually all pretty worn out. That's mostly because we have a lot of salt on our roads and a lot of water and mud and stuff that we go through. So these parts that are greasable are just not suitable for this truck in this situation.
So since we're pretty much basically running the same setup in our Kong Gladiator, we're gonna use those numbers and lengths for the control arms as a baseline to start, and then we'll adjust after as required. Okay, here we have both arms. They're definitely different. Very similar in look though, but this one has Johnny joints built in that all have grease fittings and require maintenance, while this one is designed to be zero maintenance and a lifetime warranty on the bushings. So for our climate, they don't get salt and stuff built in, have premature wear and have to service them more often. And you can just basically set it and forget it for the most part.
had to cut the steering stabilizer off because the little tiny hex head screw that holds it on with this type of mount was stripped. While we're replacing things in here, we're gonna take out the Synergy drag link. It's in here because I don't really like the ends and the way they work. It's always flopping around and it's all rusty. So we're gonna put the stock drag link back in, and then that'll be nice and tight.
Yeah, well, I'm also way turned. There you go.
Look at how beefy that is.
Let's put some shocks in.
Rusty up there.
We're gonna set this to the soft setting so it's like a Cadillac. Yes and no, but I think
What I really like about some of these Teraflex parts is just the quality of the craftsmanship. You can tell, like these bump stops, but they're just so much nicer than just a piece of steel plate like you'd see on some kits. The quality of everything is just so much higher. This is track bar clamp. It clamps onto the rear diff.
4 1/4.
Let's take a look at this joint. Oh, yes, that is in good shape. Wiring up my shocks, guys. No big deal. Just living in the future.
Okay, so yesterday we got all the suspension tied up, IR control arms in here, all the way around. The bushing does a really good job up here where we live in the salt and the snow in the Great North. Bushing's also warranted for life, so that's nice. We refreshed the springs with a new set of 4.5-inch coil springs, front and rear. We've got the nice new Falcon aDAPT shocks in. We've got all the wiring tied up. We just have to do the interior wiring for it. We changed out the tie rod that was here for a massive Teraflex HD bar. It'd be hard pressed to see Sean break this, but who knows? We've converted the Falcon shock or the Nexus stabilizer to be on top of the tie rod, so it's up at a harm's way. Updated the two brackets, the track bar bracket and the drop bracket, so everything is where it's supposed to be. In the rear you can see we have 4 more Alpine IR arms as well as the beautiful Falcon shock. Whole different style of bump stop in here so we can adjust them easier in case we want to dial it in. Nice thing is this beautiful new track bar bracket in the rear from Teraflex. This has to be one of the nicest pieces of engineering I've seen for these Gladiators in a while. You can definitely tell when a company takes time to come out with the right product instead of being first. nobody does, but okay.
Stay. All right, guys, the truck is back on all 4 wheels. Everything is installed. We're just setting up, making sure all the electronics are wired correctly for the aDAPT system. But we're gonna go and take it for a test drive. Oh, this feels much better. It's way tighter now. All the broken stuff was all loose. It feels how it's supposed to, which it hasn't for a long time. All right, so the truck is back on all 4 wheels. Took it out for a drive. It drives absolutely amazing. We still need to figure out some of the settings with the aDAPT system and get that all dialed in, but we'll get that done over the next week or so. Christian, are you happy with how this turned out?
I'm thoroughly happy with how this turned out. It looks great, it drives great, it makes no noises. It actually feels like it has more power now because the whole suspension doesn't shift when you hit the gas, which Sean is going to lose gas mileage from. I've watched it already.
Yeah, it just changes the whole dynamic. So you don't have a lot of body roll like you had before, but it's still a very nice ride. So it's gonna be interesting when Sean takes it off-road and takes it on your forest service roads or the stuff we were doing last weekend in the snow. It's gonna be a much more stable ride, I think. I think you're gonna be quite happy with it. But very, very different from what it was, like night and day different from where it was. So
Definitely.
it's a really great system. Teraflex parts are fantastic. They're some of the best in the business. So I think you'll be really happy with how this turns out.
I can tell you guys, I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy with how it turned out. Thanks. Thank you to my friends at Epic Adventure Outfitters for the install, and thank you Teraflex for helping us out with the parts. Make sure if you're getting a suspension done on your Jeep, you bring it to Epic Adventure Outfitters. You get a Teraflex suspension because of the back.
The Jeep, we will see you now.
Look, free to return to that emo rap. Ain't no kilo stash. Augusta's son had to reload that. Daddy gone, but his legacy strong. How do you figure? I too thought I'd be dead, all things considered, but I'm living, thriving and growing, fighting opponents. Instead I'm with it, striving to know who died for the lowest. Don't you get it? The industry hope is trying to control us. I ain't with it. I got me a goal that's high.